What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 1000 subscriber Q&A. Before we get to questions, I wanted to start by taking the time to sincerely thank each and every one of you for any support you have given throughout the existence of this channel. I truly appreciate having a fan base that is eager to see what I'm working on, and no matter what way you may have interacted with me, whether it be by leaving a comment or simply watching a video, it is a huge part of what keeps me motivated to make things. I will continue to pump out stuff for you guys to enjoy and give feedback on, and truthfully, I only want things to go up from here. Enough yapping though, let's get to the questions. To start off, Official Spark asks if I have any plans on making a Discord server. To answer that, due to popular demand, I am in fact making a Discord server where we can chat as a community and where you guys can peep anything I'm working on in a given moment, but it will take a bit more time to properly set up. Once it's out, I'll for sure make a community post and leave a link in all of my videos released after that, but for the time being, just know that I'm currently making one. Lav4741 asks if I could give someone a tip for creating, what would I tell them? If I have to give one singular tip to any creator, or even any aspiring artist, it would be to let what inspires you drive what you create. My personal artistic style has developed to a place where I enjoy making what I make, and that's simply because I saw the things other people were making, strive to make something similar, and found it accomplishing to set myself apart. Austin Fogelman here asked a very kind and thought-provoking question, and asked quite simply if I had plans for the YouTube channel after I'm done with GD. Well, Austin Fogelman 474, as I inevitably start drifting away from GD with time, I would still want to post my artistic works here on this channel. Most notably, I'd want to start posting motion graphics as improved using After Effects, and kind of get the same feedback that I'm already getting with levels. Zardy_ asked if I've ever had plans or thoughts of making an extreme demon. Personally, with the way I like to build levels, I tend to focus more so on conveying something to the player or viewer, whether it be energy, atmosphere, or a theme. So making a level specifically for the sake of being an extreme demon isn't something I strive for or prioritize. Especially with gameplay, I feel can bring down whatever I would want to convey with decoration, so no serious plans of ever making a stream as of now. The Tokalos asks what country I currently live in. I'm currently living in the United States, and I have lived here my whole life. They also asked what the best food is. I don't think there's a single best food, since everybody has their own preferences and diets, but if you meant to ask what my favorite is, I am tied between a few. At the moment though, pho, tikka masala, and sushi would be within my top 3. Wit on Discord asks how I made the glow lighting in COG. And by glow lighting, Wit is referring to the way that the structures in the outermost layer light up when the electricity boxes get near them. Wit is entirely correct for thinking that they are area triggered. To make the effect, I assigned an object at the center of each electricity box, with each having their own unique group, and then assigned all of the objects in the block designs with one group. After that, I placed area fade triggers to have the brightness go up as they got closer with the HSV modes, which allowed me to make the lighting change as the light source got closer. A similar thing happens in this segment using the player as the center point for the effect. The 78th creator asks when I started creating levels. I started using the level editor to create levels pretty much from the moment I had gotten the full version sometime back in 2014. My usage of the editor in my early years would mostly consist of sloppily made block designs and not fully polished levels. But in my opinion, it is worth noting that most of my early levels weren't good or thought out much at all. 5xdf asks how I make my glow look so good. I am currently working on a dedicated video on tips for glow that will hopefully come out soon after this video, but to put it in a few words, layering, blending colors, and using reference images. They really do help. Takashi Boy asks, why did it take me 7 years to make a level even though I'm so good at making levels? In case you weren't already aware, Haywire was my very first full level and completed project, and from the start of me using the editor, it took over 7 years for me to build enough confidence to finally release a first completed project. I'd 100% say that it came down to not having enough motivation. It's easy to make a single concept for an effect or a block design, but pouring enough creativity into roughly a minute or more of level is extremely daunting. The only thing to really break the motivation wall was Icarus's, now Punch's, second creator contest and its $1,000 prize pool, which I'll be honest was pretty motivating to finally push me to complete a level. I will say for any creators out there, after you complete one full level, it is considerably easier to have the motivation to do more. Aquaware asks if I'm interested in exploring any other styles later on, and also asks if I'm interested in making proper entertainment content similar to Jam Attack or Woolsey later on. For your first question, I have been attempting to implement more art into my designs, and although I definitely use it to some degree in the stuff I make, I definitely want to explore it more. As for your second question, if time and workload aside from school and other factors allow it, I'd absolutely love to try to make longer form content. But for the time being, smaller videos like tutorials, tip videos, and streams are fun and manageable for me. I don't really know what you all are interested more from me, so feel free to let me know. Magic Man asks if I, as a creator, struggle with or have the habit of procrastinating while creating a level. I would absolutely say I have a habit of procrastinating on projects. I've tried to get out of the habit more recently, but I used to build dozens of layouts on impulse with the intent of being a full level, and then later realizing it wouldn't be manageable to do so many projects at once. It extends outside of GD too. I'll just tend to start too much for me to finish and let only the best in the moment get work done. It's not the best work cycle, but at least I finish what I'm most passionate about. Obsidian AJ asked how I come up with the ideas for my levels. And honestly, that's a pretty good question. With almost every personal project that I've made, I think of a personal theme and then find a song. But with things like collabs or creator contest entries, I kind of just listen to the song and think of how I can represent it with decoration or gameplay. Smaller things like block designs or effects are usually made through being inspired by something else, but it's ultimately up to what the project feels like it needs to me based on the song it uses. Value1 asks what my thoughts are on my YouTube channel and about maintaining it, and how much I care about views and subs. For the most part, I see my YouTube channel as a platform to share my artistic works and interact with you all in the process. I for sure see it as a potential to monetize my works, but I more so enjoy it for the ability to see what people think, and more recently to inspire others to create with things like tutorials and tips. I see subscribers as a quantity of people that enjoy what I do and are interested, and views is nothing more than how many people have seen my stuff. It's not really a thing I obsess about. Alphalin fan asks if I could go back in time to the time when GD was first launched in 1.0, would I, and what would I do with the game? I quite like where the game is right now, and probably wouldn't want to go back intentionally. But if it was like a time travel situation and I could easily go back to the present day, I think if I could go back to 1.0 with the knowledge I currently have, I would probably push for less limitations in the editor. There are so many things that would have been possible in earlier updates if RobTop had simply decided to give us way less restrictions, and it shows with projects made in 1.9 private servers. Not to say that limiting us wasn't a responsible decision, but I think that we could have progressed much faster if we didn't have as much restrictions. Cube King asks, Ocular Miracle or Dreamweaver? Although I was somewhat involved in the community throughout Ocular Miracle's time, I personally find the concept of Dreamweaver to be more significant to me and my values as an artist. Other than that, I personally enjoy the Dreamweaver song more at the moment. Hectorine asked how I was able to find my own unique decoration style and what made me stick with it. I find my style to be the result of being inspired by everything I saw to be cool, but there are for sure some more notable creators that influenced it more than others. I started to develop my style early on by trying to replicate glow designs, since that was what most people wanted to do at the time, and through that I learned how to use glow in a way that I enjoyed in designs. After that, I for sure took inspiration from a plethora of effect creators, most notably Comet Face, and began to incorporate smaller effects into my designs. Most recently, 2003 Devon has been my biggest inspiration, although I for sure have found my own way of conveying bevels and light hitting a structure. I honestly don't know what style I align with most or what to categorize myself as, although I for sure feel like the style I'm comfortable with is a mix of art and effect. And to answer your second question simply, I stuck with my style simply because I enjoyed making stuff with it. Raikazu asks how megaoofyo made COG in GD. Well, megaoofyo made COG in GD in way more steps than I could or should explain in this video, but to summarize, I had used group parent on a center point to have everything encircle one point, and then warp slopes to make the hitboxes for the structures. What Your Heck asks who my favorite creator is. I have a number of creators that I'd consider favorites that are pretty much tied for me, but I feel that 2003 Devon, Comet Face, Grax, Lyriaki, and Skywalker 14 are among my top 5. They're all just really good at what they do, and it's really hard for me to give just one. But if I had to choose one singular person simply for their impact on me and my style, it'd be Comet Face. Andretti Z asks what made me decide to be a creator. I've always enjoyed making art in a plethora of mediums, so I feel learning the GD editor over the years made being a creator a natural step. It's also through the support of people witnessing my projects that helps me continue to create and grow. Stormy asks why I created COG. As stated in the showcase description, the level does have a personal theme that for the sake of interpretation I'd want to keep to myself, but besides that, building a level around a single center point had been a captivating idea for me that I always wanted to execute after seeing Stormfly's gameplay part in Limbo. I only made it in 2.2 because platformer mode made it much more easy to execute. Kyrie Mercies asks, will COG in real life? Is real life at COG help? To answer your question, yes, I've been secretly constructing a giant cog in space for the past few years, and help is in fact on the way. For real though, Kyrie Mercies asks if I have a dream level that I would want to make in the future, and if not, if I had any plans after COG. To answer the first question, I do have a dream level that I would want to complete in the future, and that level would be Megaton. The full layout in its current state is up on the channel, but truthfully, I believe that Megaton, due to its theme and song, would be my best chance to execute what I would call a masterpiece of the level. It would attempt to have the most energetic and impactful visuals that I could possibly make, with generally fun gameplay and some of my best effects. I have a ton of very ambitious ideas for decoration that I can't wait to get to, but before I get to that, I do have some projects that need to be finished by then, such as my Dreamweaver Creator Contest entry, and likely keep up. In the meantime, I'll be having playtesters give me critical feedback so I can make the core gameplay as fun as possible. As for your second question, I wouldn't really want to start too many projects at one time, so as of now, likely just keep up for personal projects and a couple of collab parts. Bounce asks how my homie likes their coffee. After asking the homie mentioned in the community post, they have reported that they like a strawberry horchata chai with light ice. Sykesfer and Deldex are curious where my name comes from. Answering where my name comes from in its full extent is a really silly story that I kind of cringe looking back on, but I'll give you a brief explanation. To start, when I was really young, I was watching an episode of Ben 10 with my siblings for whatever reason, and there was a scene where Gwen used the term mega dweeb as an insult. Me and my siblings found it incredibly funny, and I decided to adapt it into my gamertag. On GD, my gamertag became MegaLeaf, probably because I thought it sounded cool and original at the time, and on Roblox, which I was way too invested in at the time, it became some MegaOof, because I guess oof was totally a logical substitute for the term dweeb. Once I became 13 though, and wanted to make a YouTube channel, I had to decide on a singular gamertag between the two, and because I had initially intended for this channel to be a Roblox channel, as you can see from the upload history, I had chosen the latter and simplified it to MegaOof. After that, I had firmly adapted MegaOof into every platform I would ever use. The megaoofyo came about simply because I wanted megaoof as my YouTube tag once I was eligible and found that it was taken. Because of this, I wanted something short to add to the end to make it unique, and decided to add a yo because it somewhat fit with my personality and is slightly humorous. Belarus Pro asked a plethora of questions, but I'll answer the ones that were not already answered or asked. Firstly, can I put this comment in the video? Yes, I can. Good question. Belarus Pro also asked how many collabs I've participated in. After going back and counting, I believe I have participated in 14 collabs total, 4 of which are currently completed and up on the servers and are shown in purple on screen. They also asked when Keep Up will release. In all honesty, I do not know, although it will for sure be after my Dreamweaver Creator Contest entry. And lastly, they asked if I will ever do Level Request streams. To answer that, likely not after the incident. If you know, you know. With all of those questions being answered, I again thank each and every one of you for watching to the end. Your undying support and any interaction at all means the world to me and truly keeps me going. With that being said, again, I thank you for watching and hope you have a fantastic day.